Oh, hello there, yes. Another day at the camera face. Anyway, let's have a look at Douglas Murray. Not caring enough in the Daily Telegraph to write a highly paid article for them. Let's have a look, shall we? Yes, well, Mr. Murray is writing about the recent report into institutional racism in cricket, which he doesn't like. Not really quite sure. He lives in New York, so I presume he'd be more into baseball these days, but apparently not. He never actually mentions that he lives in New York ever when he's anything to do with the British media, which is a bit odd, really, isn't it? But never mind, well, let's move on from that. Anyway, apparently, this is the headline, the left now wants the utter abolition of Britain as we know it. Yes, I'm not quite sure how you abolish a country. Sounds like the sort of thing you'd do after the Versailles Treaty, just kind of draw a line on a map. Presumably that's what the left are doing. Time and again, this country's most innocent pleasures are made grist for the modern grievance mill. I've had more than enough. Yes, we'll bear that I've had more than enough viewpoint from what he says later on. He is one of those people that will pick up a lot of extreme right-wing talking points and give them that kind of, hey, I'm from Eton and Oxford veneer of respectability. But what he's saying is the same sort of thing. So, for example, we get, you can tell much about this preposterous inquiry from its name. Equity is, of course, not the same thing as equality. Equity means equality of outcome and has nothing to do with equality of opportunity or merit. Yes, indeed, absolutely, Mr. Eton Oxford. Mr. Eton Oxford wouldn't want you to believe in equity, that outcomes should be the same. That would be stupid, wasn't it? Eh? Yeah, we need to live in a country where equality matters. Equality, whereby people are judged on their ability to play cricket rather than the colour of their skin. No, let's not talk about that. Let's move on, shall we? This is a sort of real cake and eat it thing, so let's have a look at the next bit. But in many ways, this is to duck the issue, which is this. I'm afraid that, like much of the rest of the public, presumably in the States, I can no longer bring myself to be bothered. Yes, except, of course, bothered enough to be paid to write in the Telegraph, presumably. Perhaps there is racism, sexism, classism, ableism, and even elitism in the world of cricket. Oh, right. How would we find that out, Dougie boy? We could have how about an inquiry? Oh, maybe not, eh? Perhaps there isn't. Indeed, the ICEC report makes for very thin reading and thinner still evidence. Yes. Yes, it's just on the back of all the other reports that have come out about Yorkshire cricket in about the last 40 years. Never mind that, eh? But I'm simply no longer bothered about such claims by bodies which seem guaranteed to have put the black cat on the hanging judge on their heads. Yes, reference to the death penalty in the UK, there you go, before hearing even the first bit of evidence for any case for the defence. Yeah, I'm not really quite sure we need a defence against racism. What would your defence against the charge of racism be? I'm a racist. Yeah, probably that. Well, I suggest they've had their day. They have overinflated their currency enough. It is high time they were told the racket they've been indulging in is simply no longer welcome here. Yes, here being where you and I live, not where he does. Yes, indeed. I mean, there is a lot of this amongst the commentary out this weekend, whereby they don't actually address the issues about whether or not there's institutional racism somewhere. They just don't like it being pointed out. And the reason they don't like it being pointed out, of course, is because it might just get people, not you, obviously, because you're sensible, not you, obviously, but other people who are less sensible, to sort of question whether or not, in fact, we do live in any form of meritocracy with, what's that? Oh, equality, that's the word, yes. Mr. Murray is, as I say, he's an apologist for some of the very, very extreme right-wing views that you will get across the board. And one of the reasons why perhaps I am more than happy to have a go at him is that he propagates this view that the UK, despite all of the evidence to the contrary magically is being run by a left-wing cabal of people with no socio and economic power. The blob, as it's generically called. What they mean by that is people who have changed their minds since 1956 about things now appear to be in positions where they can actually do things. And people like Mr. I live in New York me, Murray, really don't like that because it threatens their class position. What do you call somebody that comes out with utter tosh like this? Crypto, somebody that lies about where they're actually coming from. And that's what Mr. Murray is, crypto. Anyway, have a lovely Sunday. Do enjoy. I think the weather's going to be okay.